Welcome to CompanyNet's July update of new and improved features in Office 365. This month there's some valuable improvements to Microsoft Teams, ticking off a couple of the last areas where it was lagging a bit behind Skype for Business. There's also new security options when you're sharing files from OneDrive and improvements to SharePoint. Plus, if you're a fan of emojis, stick around till the end of the video for a top tip. First up this month, we have a couple of security improvements to OneDrive. You'll soon be able to specify an access password for any link you create using OneDrive's Share feature. That means you can add an extra layer of password protection when you share a file with people outside of your organization. So for example, if you share a link with somebody, they forward it on to someone else accidentally or on purpose, that second recipient won't be able to open the file unless they have the password that you set initially. The other option being added to OneDrive this month is a block download option. Now if you block the download of a file, then recipients will only be able to view it in their browser, they won't be able to download their own copies. These two features were announced last month in June and they're being added to OneDrive in the next few months. So keep an eye on your OneDrive and let your employees know about the changes as they offer really useful new ways of securing your organization's data. Now let's turn to Yammer, which this month has a change for users and a change under the bonnet. You'll notice a new option to post a question in addition to the usual update, pull and praise options. A question is basically the same as a standard Yammer post, but it adds a little question icon and it lets the person asking the question pick a best answer. This plays to Yammer's role as a repository of tacit knowledge. So if someone's coming back to the question, if they've searched for that same question and they need an answer, they'll now be able to quickly see what the best answer is that the previous questioner selected. Showing that the question has been answered, or rather that a best answer has been picked, also means there's less likely to be duplication of effort from your colleagues in answering the question. This feature is already being rolled out, so everybody should have it quite soon. Meanwhile, there are changes afoot behind the scenes at Yammer too. You may not know that Yammer started out life as its own separate service, so Microsoft has been gradually aligning it closer and closer with the rest of Office 365. Starting in the next month or two, any new files you share in a Yammer channel that's connected to an Office 365 group will be stored in SharePoint rather than being stored in Yammer. That means that the same governance will be applied to Yammer files that's already being applied to your SharePoint and OneDrive. That makes your retention, sensitivity labeling, device policies and auditing all much more consistent across Office 365. Now let's take a look at what's new and updated in SharePoint this month. Consistent branding is really important and comms teams will absolutely love this new feature. SharePoint's image picker now has a panel labelled Your Organization. This lets you have a central repository of images that have been set by your organization, like logos, stock photos, and other brand assets. So next time a content editor is looking for a logo or a brand image, they can head straight to the Your Organization tab and find the right one. This feature is being rolled out now, and Microsoft says it will be with everybody by the end of August. Another update to SharePoint this month is an improved site usage section, which provides some basic details of how people are using your SharePoint sites. In addition to showing unique visitors, the site usage page will now show something called Popular Platforms. This will help admins spot which devices are being used to access your sites, whether that's desktop PCs, tablets, or the SharePoint mobile app. We think this is quite a basic approach still, so for users of our Kira platform, we're going to continue offering our advanced Kira Analytics package. Kira Analytics combines deeper SharePoint data with stats also drawn from Google Analytics into a much more powerful dashboard. The new site usage pages, though, will be available by the end of July, so watch out for those. Finally this month, we have 3 exciting updates to Microsoft Teams. First up, real-time presence status. Now, Teams has had presence status for a while, but it's never been particularly accurate. There could be a delay of anything up to 4 or 5 minutes between, say, you joining a call and your Teams presence changing to show that you're busy. Obviously, that's not very helpful, so Microsoft have now addressed it. Your presence in Teams will now update instantly, so if you're someone who jumps on and off calls or has a lot of meetings, you should find that people disturb you much less frequently, hopefully. Everyone's Teams will be updated automatically to receive this update by the end of August. The second biggie for Teams this month is priority notifications. These will let you mark a message in chat as urgent, which means it will repeatedly notify the recipient every 2 minutes for up to 20 minutes or until they respond. Obviously, there's scope for this feature to be misused or to become annoying, so if you choose to enable it for your staff, it's important that you provide guidance around its use. It will be possible to set up a policy to restrict the use of priority notifications, or just to keep the feature turned off altogether if you don't think you need it. The feature is rolling out soon, and it will give everyone unlimited use until the end of the year, after which Microsoft is planning to restrict the number of urgent messages that your users can send based on the type of Office 365 license that they have. The third and final Teams feature this month is external access, also known as Federation. Federation was a well-established feature in Skype for Business, so it's great to see it finally coming to Teams. External access means that Teams users from other companies and organizations that you specify can take part in your chats and calls. You'll also be able to federate with organizations who are still using Skype for Business, so this is really opening up the ability to connect with external partners. If you just want to provide external partners with access to specific Teams channels though, you should instead consider the existing guest access feature. Guest access lets guests join the channel you specify rather than access the whole of your Teams, but it allows access to files and other features of Teams as well as calls and chats, whereas external access only lets you call and chat with other organizations. External access is going to start arriving at the end of July, and it should be available to everybody by the end of August. Your admins can turn this feature on across the organization from the Teams Admin Center. By default, all organizations will be able to connect with yours, but you can create a whitelist or blacklist of domains that will override this. And finally, a little tip for Windows users who like using emojis. Unlike on a mobile device, there's no obvious way to access emojis in Windows, which can get really frustrating. Some people resort to using an on-screen keyboard, or just to searching the web for an emoji and then copying and pasting it, which isn't the most convenient way of doing it. Newer versions of Windows 10 actually provide a way to quickly access any emoji. If you just press the Windows and semicolon keys at the same time, it'll reveal a special emoji panel from which you can select whichever emoji you want to insert. While emojis may not be essential in every business situation, they can be useful on occasion, for example if you want to draw attention to a subject line, such as an important announcement. Okay, that's it for July's Office 365 Roundup. We hope you found it useful. If you did, subscribe to our channel, and you can also get monthly updates delivered straight into your inbox by signing up at the address on your screen now.